Handwriting is a very, very interesting skill and apparently can say things about your personality. Handwriting analysis, of course, is something far more complex than the layperson might think. It's not only used for assessing personality traits, but also in psychology and even forensics. Michelle Barker is a handwriting analyst at Obsidian Consulting. Michelle, a very good morning to you. Thank you for your time this morning. Firstly, can you explain what a handwriting analyst does and what set you off on this career path?
Thanks, Bongani, for having me this morning. It's actually it's obviously my topic of passion. I was exposed to handwriting analysis probably close to 30 years ago when I was working in corporate in human resources.
Yeah.
And a company used it as a recruitment tool. And that's when I saw the power of handwriting, because you, especially like in some of the Durban branches that I never got to meet the employees, I would see the analysis of their handwriting. And then when you eventually met the person, you actually saw how spot on the handwriting analysis was. And that's what got me interested in it.
All right, just explain that. What does my handwriting say about me?
So it gives absolutely pretty much everything about you, from your introversion or extroversion, your emotional stability. Listening to your previous callers on the road rage incidents, you'd be able to see things like emotional control, whether the person's got an explosive temper, if they're inclined to violence. You can pick up integrity issues. You can pick up a person's impulse control.
Really?
Their intelligence, what type of intelligence they have, if it's practical or IQ, EQ, social intelligence, aesthetic intelligence, like somebody who might be in the beauty industry. You can actually see that in the handwriting.
And I find my handwriting is not consistent. I mean, I sometimes, depending on the pen that I've got, depending on whether or not I'm in a hurry, sometimes it can be really, really neat and sometimes hard for me to decipher.
Yes, so we all have our public personalities and our private personalities. So your private handwriting will be more falling apart, more disintegrated. And when you write for public, you will be more inclined to put up a better front. But it's also affected by your moods on the day. So if you want a proper assessment, you should take a few samples of handwriting in order to get the consistency in it. But no matter what your mood is of the day, there will be certain underlying traits that will never change. If you've got integrity issues, that will never change.
How do you tell if somebody's got integrity issues?
So I know one of the questions you asked yesterday when you actually messaged me was, so you would look at the speed of the writing. Often very slow handwriting will show that the person is watching what they say, so they're holding back. So you'll find in fraud, or for example, people will write a lot slower because they're having to think about what they write. Whereas if you're being truthful, your handwriting will be more spontaneous.
Aha! So you don't just so hold on. You don't just look at handwriting in terms of what's written, but you look at the person when they're writing it.
Well, you don't, not physically when they're writing, but you can see the speed of the handwriting from the fluidity on the page. So if the handwriting if the focus is on per letter or per word, that has slowed the person down. But if you're writing fast and connected is almost the word, the speed shows on the handwriting. In the handwriting.
That's absolutely
so you'll be
fascinating.
Able to see how fast or slow a person writes. Also, if they write very, very fast, that's also a sign of having less emotional control. They will just almost have no internal braking system. So if they write extremely fast, you can be guaranteed that person will be driving fast on the roads as well.
Michelle, that is absolutely fascinating. I tell you what we want to do. I'm going to put myself on the block here. Maybe we'll send you some pieces of writing and you can tell me what kind of personality that displays. Michelle Barker, I really appreciate your time. Absolutely fascinating. Handwriting analyst at Obsidian Consulting.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.